Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another live episode of Jacob's Ladder. I am your host, Jacob Israel, and we have some out-of-this-world stuff to get into today. Happy that you're all here. I wanted to come this morning, but I felt that 222 was going to be a perfect time, although we had a little bit of a wait. And I thank you for still coming and for smashing the like and doing all that you do, because weird things are always happening. President Donald Trumpster has come in like a king, and he is just laying the smacketh down on everything that he can find. You can think about it. Right now we got troops going to the border. We got a ban on CBDC. Everybody, whatever it is called, central bank digital currency. Everybody was freaking out, saying that's going to be the mark of the beast, but no more. Stockpiling stuff. That's not it. We got like massive alien disclosure coming in. We got meatball time, baby. It's one of those things. Bonnie Ellis says that I'm hard to find. It's Jacob Israel, people, on YouTube. I know that YouTube doesn't tell you and it's hard to find me, but if you go to YouTube, you just type in Jacob Israel, you'll find me. If you hit subscribe and you check the bell for notifications, you'll be good to go. So when the War of the Worlds happen, you're ready to do battle. Spiritually speaking, of course, because it's all about that spiritual battle. It's not about what's going on outside of us, although that it's there for us to learn from. It's going with inside. Inside, indeed. My goodness gracious. Okay, let's just talk. There's some weird things. You probably noticed on the thumbnail. Take a look at that. Okay, we got a couple of things going on. But you notice the U.S. seal, that where the eagle usually looks to the olive branch. Tammy with the big old super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Tammy. Tammy, did you notice that you look at the eagle and it's looking the other way? It's looking down at the war side, the 13 arrow side. 13, the death card. Oh, good grief. This whole show is going to be one of those things where it's like a series. This is like a bingeable series, because every day there's new information, but that information is connected to something that I said a while ago. It's very cool. All right, let's talk about some of the massive changes before we get into all of the crazy stuff. So he goes to the World Economic Forum. He meets with them and he gives a speech and he looks like a boss. And he talks about his new economic policy, the tariffs, all of the things we know about. He's like, we're not doing wind, all right? We're not going to worry about the fish if they're dying. We're not going to do this. We're going back to oil, and we're going to open up things with some coal. We're going to do some. His speech was like, just so you know, you cabal are going down. That's what it was. That's what it sounded like. It, at least to me. Border and immigration, he was very serious on, and of course, we got that going on right now. It's just, what an amazing time to be alive. He's, he came in, did what he does. He tells everybody how great he is, and I got to tell you something, compared to the last president, he's doing a pretty great job so far, seems like. How can we really have a problem with it until we start seeing the things? I'm keeping my hopes. Because I don't want things to be bad. I want to see things that are getting better. And so he does this whole thing. And then I come on X this morning. And I don't know if you follow me on X. You should. It's at Jacob71 on the old X, the old Twitter. The old X app, which I said years ago. I said, oh, Elon, you should just buy X, and you're going to buy, Twitter at the time. And then he does. It's almost like we knew. But he was standing next to the U.S. seal. And he looked cool and everything else. But the U.S. seal, it usually, if you take a look at the U.S. seal, okay, it usually looks toward the olive branch. And then if you can even put this up on your page to remember it for later, okay? Because if you were looking into it, it would explain this is why the eagle's looking that way. The recurring number 13 It has to do with the original states, the olives and the olive branch and the arrows. They symbolize the United States has a strong desire for peace. That's why the eagle is looking there. We want peace, but we're ready for war. The eagle has its head towards the olive branch on its right side to symbolize a preference of peace. Seems to me that the U.S. SEAL is now saying, we got a preference for war. War with who? Because at the same time all this is happening, we got Pete Hegseth, I think is his name, Hegseth. You know what Hegseth means? Heg is it's like a garden or like a farm. Seth is, so it would be like the garden of Seth, which is interesting because Seth is the consolation son. You know the story of Adam. He has the two children, Cain and Abel. Okay, and the firstborn kills the secondborn. And then they have Seth, comes later. It's a picture of Christ when Christ returns. Wait till I get into Pete. Well, he just got confirmed as a Secretary of Defense. And you probably noticed from the thumbnail, if you didn't notice, and if you're just getting here, I'll just pull it. You probably noticed that he's right next to all them aliens. Secretary of Defense, I'm thinking, if there's extraterrestrials, I'm thinking, call me crazy, but that's probably going to be like on his high priority list. I know that he's already dug into it. This is something that's been going on in front of Congress. We've covered it on the show. I've had Rex Bear from Leak Project. You know Rex. Going to have him on again. Maybe I should give him a call during the show a little later just to surprise him. I'll put him on the air. But we kind of told you. We said, look, the aliens, they're coming. You know, I put a bunch of tests out there. They're coming. I've been talking about the egg because that's what they found this egg. You can see it in the background over President Donald Trump's shoulder. I'm going to talk about that egg for a while. You know, not just because I eat 5 hard-boiled eggs every morning with my shake of beets and spinach and carrots and ginger and some blueberries, some protein, a little creatine, by the way, because I was told that it was good for the old brain. And I've also gotten I've gained some weight. I've gotten a little stronger from it. You know, all these things that I could have done. We got to learn to take care of ourselves. The eggs are like all over the place. And it's getting weird. Let me show this to you, okay? It was not human. The UFO whistleblower. Can I just put a pin on that for a second? His name's Jacob, by the way. And the interview that took place on my birthday, by the way, June 11th. I don't know. I find these things interesting. You should find more things interesting too. All right? Just look at life differently, right? You want exciting life? Look at life and see how exciting it is. I ask people all the time. Some people correct me. I think you're leading people the wrong way. I think you're leading them to worship Trump. I'm like, I've been telling you what Trump is from the beginning. He is the king. He's King Nebuchadnezzar. I showed you the video that I did years ago with the fact that they used the same prayer in his inauguration. He's back, baby, because God brings him in to correct the people because we've been naughty. And at the end, the story at the end is, you know, there's a separation of the wheat and the goats. This is wheat and goats. Wheat and the tares, sheep and the goats. They're just symbols of like people that are, we'll say, spiritually aware, kind-hearted, loving, and then others who are just very much sucked down into the hell of their egotistical, you know, maniacal, carnal, ignorant nature. There's heaven and there's hell. You know, there's these two natures. There are these two dogs that are at war with each other within them. You see that meme with Elon that he put out? It's one like, please post, you know, more positive stuff and lift up X. And the other one was like the wolf saying, it's like, F you, retard. Terrible thing to say. But that's the fight, right? The fight. It's going on. It's a spiritual fight. But that fight isn't very fair if you got like AI programming you and getting you to think a certain way. What does this have to do with eggs and aliens? You're going to see. What a cool show. You better share it around. You do me a favor, smash the likey for me. I don't know if you noticed. I've been coming on here a lot lately. I think I found my groove back. Jacob's got his groove back. I'm very excited about this. It was not human, Jacob said. The UFO whistleblower detailed the recovery of a giant egg-like object. Okay? This can get weird. Former Air Force Special Operations Airman told News Nation news nation, which is a God-fearing television nation. That's something that's new. That's something that I said was coming. See how things turn? There's going to be a push towards it because you can't keep being naughty, people. You know, come hell or high water, you're going to behave. And your life gets better when you do. Let's be honest. You know, when you love your wife and you love your husband and you're good to them, you have a better relationship. Instead of doing stupid things, which a lot of people do stupid things. Appreciate and love and take care of the people around you. It's a treasure. Your life is a gift. So this guy says, this is his quote, just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was egg-straordinary. Get it? Egg-straordinary? I'm in a good mood today. You know why I'm in a good mood? Because it's Friday, the Danny Ann gets home. You know, when she doesn't have to work on the weekend, we have some fun. We do. We do. She's the best. I love her so much. All right. Former Air Force guy says, he goes, look, it was extraordinary and anomalous. Jacob Barber. I also find that interesting because Jacob had the issue with his brother, the hairy brother, Esau, right? Now, remember, we talked about burnt hair. We talked about red being symbolic of something. Red dyes being banned. It's like in the country, there's a push towards getting away from, you know, the lower basic forms of life. You're going to see right now, two genders. That's it. That's it. As if there was ever a question, just so you know, President Donald Trump has made it now. This is the rule. It's not going to be long before you're going to hear there's no like more of those bathrooms. Everything's changing, right? And it's a change in the right direction, even though some of it's not going to look so good and feel so good and be so good. But there's this weird alien element that's making everything very strange. So this guy's talking about this craft. And here's weird. He also talks about this other thing. And he said, and it was like this UFO, they called it the 8 gong, like the number 8 gong. And that's what they describe it as, a flying disc that had 8-dimensional sections, delineated sections. You know, now as I'm saying this right now, I'm wishing I did a little more research because I'm thinking, you know, that star, the one that has the, that we see all the time. So 1, 2, 3. I mean, you know, I wonder if it has like 8 points. But anyway, they call it this because of the way the craft is designed. And when he got close to it, he felt something connect to him. Like mind meld, you know? The mind meld. Connected. He felt a presence. He felt the presence when he was near the craft, like the craft was maybe alive, okay? And he said, I felt something had tuned in to me, now get this, and my soul, and was providing me with some sort of guidance on what to do and how profound what I was that I was doing. It was overwhelming. I began to cry. Something said, son. This is like a divine event. Could you imagine you're coming near this thing and all of a sudden you're like, oh, and you start weeping with the beauty of this? I mean, this is like a story. This is a story. It's a story. It's a story of what happens when you're overwhelmed by the love of God. But would this be it? And maybe they're angels. You know, maybe they're demons. You got to tell me in the live chat. And let me take a look here. You know, I like to do this. I just want to see, because I haven't said anything about the like, because a lot of you were saying, don't say the like, don't say it. Well, look, it's a lot less than half of you liked. The more that you like, if you hit it, right? Are you having fun? I'm having a good time. You hit that like right now, and then more people are informed about it. And by the way, if you can also do me a favor and share it around, you know, that stuff helps a lot, makes me so happy. It's just these eggs, they're everywhere. It's an egg-citing time to be alive because everybody's seeing the eggs. All right, let me show you this, okay? I just want to pull this over and you can just take a look. We're gonna pull this up real quick. There we go. Oh, by the way, I want to read this poem to you. Okay, I share poems on X too. This is something that I think you need. This is like one of these, the keys of the kingdom. Okay, so things in your life can begin to change right now. You can rearrange your life when you know how. It starts with knowing you have the power to create the life you want to see. Next, you must have the dream of where you want to be. Then you must allow yourself to believe these dreams are already a future reality. It might not happen overnight. You might have to put up a fight, but without this intention, life will never feel right. Next, you must take captive and rid yourself of every negative thought. Never tear down others. Avoid gossip, foolish thinking, and idle talk. Keep your eyes focused on the prize. Realize and remember, no accomplishment in life will matter without love. Your thoughts create. Your beliefs are the gate. Your journey you must appreciate. Within you is the change you need, and there's nothing but ignorance that stands in your way. So take my advice and start living your life the way you actually want to today. Thank you very much. I'm a poet and I don't know it. All right, let me pull this up and let me just pause it for a sec and make sure that it is... Okay, so this was the footage. This was the footage that they were going crazy. That's an egg. He's carrying an egg. And he's, and then they're talking about how the egg is. I mean, you would think that the footage would be a little better. Why is it the military and they have probably just the most, look at this. They have like the biggest budget. They got so much money, right? You'd think that their footage would be a little better than my little iPhone 11 that I use and I tape all my shows on. But here you go, suspended in a cradle. You look at it and you bring up the cargo, and they brought it up, and there's a freeze frame of it. You can see it's an egg, and then see, here's the weird thing. They say that they can't see any propulsion or anything else, but it's also one, and here's another one right here. Let me just pull this up. Hopefully you can see that. Let's make it a little bigger and make sure that this is off. So here's another one. I mean, these just look like a really bad college movie. I mean, like the effects are just horrible. That's just the way I feel. I mean, maybe this stuff is real. I don't have a doubt that it's real, but I mean, it just does. It looks a little sus to me. It doesn't look like, it just doesn't look that believable to me. It just doesn't. It just isn't. Okay, speaking of eggs, here, let me play this for you. I did this. This is a short from a while ago, and hopefully you're going to be able to hear this. So now that's the Orphic egg, by the way. An egg, the Orphic egg is kind of like where creation comes, and the snake is involved in it. It's that's kind of very symbolic of what we're going to talk about with I Pet Goat. But just take a listen to this, and we'll see at the end. This is an occult symbol. It's called the Orphic egg or the cosmic egg, supposedly where everything temporal is birthed from. You probably saw it in I Pet Goat, where the snake when the TV was wrapping around the egg. Very similar. This is basically the god that comes out of that egg, hatched from the world egg, Phanes, the light bringer. Just like Lucifer, the firstborn. This is all about worshiping the firstborn or the Antichrist in the world. You remember the world egg with Kylie Jenner a little while back? It's all over. Red Notice right now. It's all about the eggs. Even Vince McMahon lost his eggs. And Kim Kardashian's latest fragments. An egg. The world egg. The Orphic egg. Lady Gaga coming out of the egg saying we need a hybrid race of new people. And it's about to be birthed. Some say this is grown in eggs. Did you know that? But what is it all about? This. I mean, that's some interesting stuff, right? I mean, it's not just me. I don't think that it can't just be me that thinks this. That all of a sudden that there's an egg. I mean, it all seems a bit sus to me. It just does. Let me see if I can get back here without losing my place. Getting a little confused. I mean, it's weird, right? I mean, you got to tell me. We got over 1,000 people here. What's going on, right? I can't lose. I can't lose this week. This is my new attitude. That poem that I read to you was there for a reason, because that poem has to do with, belief. Our faith creates. This is what I've been telling you for a long time, and it wasn't me that came up with it. All right, Jesus told us long before I did. But there's a little technique. I'm going to give you a technique, right? I should do one of those videos. A little technique. You have to, faith is basically when you think something's going to happen. You think it with such belief that you can actually envision it. You can actually feel it. You can smell what it smells like, hear what it sounds like. You can taste it. You remember everybody around you. So one of the acts of creation is you speak it and you believe it. So you want the life that is a good life? Start thinking that way. Take the negative thoughts captive, those lies that come up and pollute you. What if we've been taken hostage? What if there's a negative dark force? Which, by the way, you can get on Amazon.com. Best novel ever. It really is. It really is. It's gonna be a big deal one day. I believe it, because that's why I started the channel. Was because I wrote the novel. So the channel was to, promote the novel. Then it turned into this. Who knows what God has planned for us? But what if a dark force took over and has been manipulating our thoughts? But yet Christ comes down and tells you, resist the devil, he'll flee. Resist the demon. Remember yesterday we talked about Stargate? Why is Trump so we need to be the best, the biggest, right? Looks like Sam Altman may be on his way out too. We don't like the things that we're hearing about Sam. All the stuff that he's sharing, they look like they're underfunded, but maybe there's something to this. Maybe really movies like The Matrix and all that, maybe there's a lot more truth to it than we know. Maybe this is the we'll call it the awakening. I like to call it the resurrection of Christ in you. That moment where we don't know, we don't know what's going on, but that day we know as we're known. It's an interesting thing. Listen, I've been covering eggs for a long time. Okay? You can see they're all over the news. Mork from Mork. Remember Mork? The alien came in the egg. Do you remember the movie The Arrival? They came in an egg. Half an egg. Do you remember Kylie Jenner's world famous egg? How about that 1,000-year-old chicken egg? I've been talking about the eggs for a while now. Here's weird. Do you know when this story came out? I think the first interview was taped on my birthday, 2023, whatever. But the news broke on January 20th. Tell me in the live chat, by the way. And thank you all. You all see you hit the like and you're helping out and you're going to share it around. You're going to tell your friends. I appreciate that. Tell me in the live chat what happened. Go ahead. You can type it in right now. What happened on the 20th? January 20th. The inauguration. President Donald Trump was inaugurated. And yes, the prayer that was prayed right before, our king returns to make sure, the great MAGA king, which was another connection. It's weird, right? It's weird how, things that I share, it's weird. I got to tell you, a lot of you do the same thing. I'm starting to get a lot of people sending me stuff where you're like, I have a feeling. And then boom, there it is. Faith. All right, so look, take a wild guess. How long ago I did a show? There's the 7 and the 13, the resurrection number and the death number. The 7-year cicada and the 13-year cicada. 3 years, 7 months, 13 days in between a video where Trump is crowned king. And the egg is cracked open so people can see the light that's coming out of it. And from sky, Babylon's judgment will come. That's a little concerning, that passage. Considering now on the same day that he's inaugurated to be the king, the same day, 3 years, 7 months, 13 days later, there's an egg. There's an egg, and there's the whistleblower. I mean, is that normal? Is that normal? It should be. Don't you think it should be? Shouldn't life be this wonderful and magical? Shouldn't it? Yeah. So, you tell me what to make of that. That's I should just, we should all just sit on that for a second and really figure out what the heck is going on. Maybe these eggs are, maybe we're the eggs. Maybe there's something brewing inside of us. Maybe they're cracking. Who knows? Resist the devil, for he will flee. Who knows what's been growing inside of us? Who knows? Told what to think, told how to behave. Now you see Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, he just executive ordered a bunch of stuff. He's like, no more affirmative action. It's done. Merit. You get the job that you deserve. That's it. No more nonsense. No more messing around. Can't be lazy on the job anymore. That's what everybody's got to work hard. Now, does that mean that people will take advantage and probably not hire people because maybe they are racist or maybe they have a problem with somebody's orientation? That's wrong. But did it go the other way too? People take advantage? Maybe. I didn't like the fact that, I had to have these hard conversations with Ethan about his friend who's, no longer a boy, but has been a girl for, a couple of years now. And he's 13. These are difficult things. You don't want people to struggle. You also don't want them to be discriminated against because they're a little different. I'm different. I'm a weirdo. I'm a meatball. But merit-based is the way to go. I mean, that's the way it should be. We should be color blind, right? Speaking of color blind, that was Martin Luther King's dream. It was his dream. The best speech ever written, in my opinion, given the most amazing way. People are going to get into politics of this, that, and the other thing. That speech alone, that's the dream. There was a dream that was Rome. You know that too? Rome? You're saying that Elon was doing the Roman salute. I think he was excited. I think he was excited. We do weird things. People have done videos where they said, look at Jacob, he's twiddling his fingers or something and doing something weird. What else is new? Welcome to my life. The dream, if that's the case, and the case is, because my belief, that is going to be the case. I think that God is changing the hearts of people. I think that this is the day, the wake-up call. I think that this is the judgment where those will be sifted like wheat. Who? Peter. Remember Peter? We talked about Peter, Ptah, how it's connected to Egypt and everything else. Peter, I'll deny you 3 times. Deny you 3 times. No, never, Lord. I'll do anything for you. He's like, today you're going to deny me 3 times. But Satan desires to sift you like wheat, Peter. All right? Satan asked. He requested. Jesus was like, I just want to let you know something. Satan came over to me and was like, I want to sift Peter like wheat. I want to see if he's really worthy to take this message that you got. Isn't that a weird way of looking at it? But that's really what he said. He goes, Satan asked. He's going to sift you like wheat. So just be ready, because that's the day that we're in. This is the sifting process at the harvest. But the last harvest is not like it's the wheat harvest. That's, you look at the harvest, biblically speaking, they can get pretty ugly. This one seems to have eggs attached to it. And I don't know if you remember, do you remember that old school movie? That Illuminati movie, the I Pet Goat movie, right? Okay, well, eggs were a big theme. And who's the egg? Take a look now. See, now you're going to start to put some dots together. It's going to start to make a little bit of sense because you're looking at it and you're going, whoa, hang on a second. That's a human in there. And who's got their snake tail wrapped around it? That looks like a monitor, an alien monitor. Maybe it could be AI. AI. Oh my goodness. And then you look at that child suffering, being bad, and what do you got behind it? You got AI screaming in its head. You get them negative thoughts, and then you act on it. That's called devil possession, my friend. Somebody's whispering in your ear, don't let them do that. No one likes you. You're the worst. And you think it's you thinking it. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. That's what's going on in your head when you get negative thoughts, my friend. But you know the good news is, when the egg's revealed and it cracks, thing ends up free. You end up free. That thing's going to run away because it doesn't have power over you anymore. This is the day where the children of God, Satan, the enemy, the adversary, the false, all cast into the lake of fire. What is fire? Fire is truth. Lies can't abide in truth. Every nature that's not written in the book of life, every name that's not written in the book of life is going to be purged away. Your fear, your hate, your animosity. What am I doing with Trump getting kinged with him holding an egg? You like that Orphic egg? You like that, what is it, Thanos? Does it sound like Thanos? Thanos? The light bringer? All of this stuff, very interesting to me. So what do you think this war thing is all about? You know that there was that guy in Israel. I've talked about him. You could just Google this. I'm not making up stories. All right. There's a galactic federation. This guy was the head of like space defense for Israel for like 30 years or something. And he's like, I don't care anymore. There's a galactic federation and Trump wanted to tell everybody about it, but they're like, no, they're not ready yet. What if we're ready now? Right? Hang on a second. Help! Help! You start to think about these things, it gets a little scary. If you weren't kind of told ahead of time that it was going to happen, and then you're just along for the ride because there's two sets of individuals, right? When that end time comes, before it happens, what happens? The good, and I don't mean to say like good, like I'm not good. Jesus said that. When the man came up to Jesus and he says, good master, what must we do to inherit eternal life? Jesus is like, why are you calling me good? That puts a whole wham jobby on people that are like, oh, he's perfect and, he's never sinned, right? He took upon himself the sins of the world. We all did. He was tempted, right? You can't tempt God, but he was tempted. And when you're tempted in the book of James, I think it is the book of James, I'm not like Rain Man, you're drawn away by your own lusts. He had to endure everything we endure. Now he endures it for us. He dies for us because Christ is in us. Now, can you imagine when Christ comes and grabs his bride? Christ died, the authority of God, for you so that you could live. Now it's time for us to die. Because we've been ruled and reigned by a bunch of lies for so long, just like that picture. That is just such a perfect illustration of what is going on. The guy says, when I got close to it, I felt like it was communicating with me because it probably was communicating. Don't you think? Probably was. So are we at war? Is that what's going on? I don't know. Let me just show you this, okay? Because I got more to go. Because the whole system's going upside down. You think that the whole egg thing was a coinky-dinky do enough? Was that coinky-dinky do enough? Well, hang on a second. I got something for you when it comes to crypto. And then we're going to get into Pete Hegsworth. Look at that. President Trump signs executive order to ban central bank digital currencies. Exactly 60 days from my video. Look at what is Jesus doing in that he's flipping the coins. And what are the coins? They're digital coins. And what's there right in front of your face? Bitcoin. So is it CBDC or is it X? I'm having a feeling that we're going to have a whole new way of looking at how we buy and sell, if you know what I mean. It's going to be different. Things are going to be a little different going forward, I think. But how about them apples, right? Look at that. Prophetic sign. Current financial system is going down. CBDC or X? I think X won. won the battle. All right, let me play you this because this is an interesting clip. And then we'll go to here. I hope that I haven't had that playing the whole time. Oh, maybe I don't have it up. Oh, here I do. Okay, here we go. So yeah, so he's got new regulations and everything else. This is just like a little sneak peek. Hang on. Let me make it a little bigger. Bring up the volume. And it's just weird because, here it is, 60, well, I don't know how many days later. I'll tell you in a second. Now, I don't know if you all remember, I put out of the blue, Wayne sent me this weird video where there was just a guy and he was doing a whip and he was like whipping the thing around and smashing the whip. And I just thought, I'm like, interesting. Because the night before I was watching a show called, it's like a Western show. It's called Territory. It's a really good show. And I was watching that show and I found it interesting that towards the end of the show, the night before Wayne sends me this thing with the whip, the lead character was teaching someone how to do that exact thing. So we know in scripture, it says that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. So if you witness something, twice or 3 times, maybe God's word's being established. So I think to myself, I bet you there's going to be something with the whip. So I put it out, right? I put it out on X. I don't know if you saw it. And I do these little things for those of you that are new to the channel. If you're new, and welcome to the show, where you hit the like button, smash the like, share the channel around, make sure you subscribe because I'm here all the time. Sometimes, YouTube doesn't tell you, so you know that I'm here. But I put it out on X, which is at JacobIsrael71 for those of you who want to follow me there. And I put a little test out there and I said, think money changers and in the temple when Jesus walked in with the whip. Now, at first I was nervous about this. I was a little scared. You know why? Because I saw the whip and I thought immediately, I'm like, oh no, persecution's coming, right? And, so I had to pray about it because I didn't want to just see that as like something that's going to be not great for all of us. So I prayed about it and I thought, and then out of the blue, I'm reminded of when he goes into the temple and he has a whip that he's made of cords and he's flipping the tables, he's taking the coins, and right now everything's about the digital coins, and he scatters the coins, right? He flips the tables over. It's like it's this picture of the financial system being flipped on its head, which is something that we see going on. And now here we are today, and I see that new show, The Chosen. The Chosen releases their next season, and their logo, their poster was Jesus with the whip. So I'm like, that's it. Test complete. So, what do you think? That is, I think that's interesting. New money for America. Got the Bitcoin right there, and then here he is 60 days later, and he is all about that moolah. What do you call digital currency? Can't call it moolah. Where did he get moolah from? It's like some kind of a warlord in Iran or something. Fabulous Moolah was a wrestler. Have I gotten a little distracted? Yeah, it happens. What are you going to do? Secretary of Defense, strong against aliens. We're not taking them. We're not going to be messing around. We're not going to be messing around when it comes to the aliens. We got Pete. We got Pete Hegsworth. He ended up, this is big, ended up winning 51-49. 51-49. I think that's pretty cool. Let me tell you why it's cool. Because you know me and the numbers, right? I like to take the numbers and I like to say, hey, what does it mean? I'm going to make sure I put this over here so you can see the meatball. All right? I'm like, what does it mean? What does the 51-49 mean? So I look it up. And what do I find? So you got these 2 sets of individuals. You got the wheat and you got the tares. You got the sheep, you got the goats, right? Some to everlasting correction, weeping, gnashing of teeth. It's not a great place. You're going to complain. It's going to be terrible. You're going to cry. Life's going to be hard. And you got the others. They're going to go to be comforted. They're going to be, it's a consolation. Consolation. I was going to say consolation because I think it sounds better. Consolation. The prize, the Seth child. Got these 2. Okay? That's what it means. In Hebrew, it means, here, take a look at this. It's the right-hand side of the screen. Okay? So in Hebrew, it means to comfort at the bottom, to console, consolation, Seth. That's interesting. His last name is Heg-Seth. I find that interesting. It also means to gnash the teeth. Two sets of individuals. So I wrote this. I just put this out on X. I said, spiritual story hidden in Pete Hegseth being confirmed as Secretary of Defense. Defense. Who is supposed to be your defense? Who is the Secretary of your defense? Who's in charge of it? Peter actually means rock. Now, Christ's church is literally built on Peter. It's a symbol. Peter is sifted as wheat after denying Christ 3 times. Hegseth means garden of Seth. Seth, the consolation child. The vote, 51-49, you put them together, biblically, consolation and gnashing of teeth. The Secretary of Defense. Now you look at this from Psalms. My soul waits that only upon God, for my expectation is from him. He is my rock. He is my salvation. He is my defense. You got a guy named Pete Hegseth. When, you think about this, it's good. I'm not going to be moved in the face of trouble. Is this confirmation of your hearing? Are you hearing this? Are things being confirmed? Do you get what I'm saying here? There's more to our life if we're willing to just take a look. Just take a look, take a listen. Are you willing? Are you willing to maybe see life a different way through the eyes of faith? Right now, we're exactly where I've been saying we were going to be for a while. That's why I find it interesting to some people. I guess maybe I do have an interesting view on our president. To see him as a biblical judge or a biblical king that brings in correction and judgment. It's not somebody who's coming in. He's going to toe the line, but I want to see good things, right? So what am I going to do? I'm starting to get this vibe that there's more than we know. Maybe there's a little bit more on the table when we got eggs that are, if this is one big psyop, I don't know. I find it interesting that an alien was holding an egg in that video I did when Trump was being crowned by the aliens. Then you got that guy who says the Galactic Federation. It's strange. But is this confirmation of your hearing? Because if you read this, it should become clear. For men verily swear by the greater, and oath for confirmation is to them an end to all strife. There was an oath to confirmation. Men swear upon something greater. And there's an end to all strife. Where's the strife coming from? Is it you? Those tormenting thoughts that you get. Is it you? Because it's certainly not God telling you that you're worthless, that you're not going to go anywhere, that you're doomed, that you should just end it all. That's not God. That's not God. And that's certainly not you. You got to know the difference. You got to take these thoughts captive. In my last show, it was quite a coincidence that they're opening up the Stargate, and I did a video in a certain amount. If you haven't seen my live show from yesterday, when you're done watching this one, just go watch the last one. Just go up and find it. Stargate being opened. There's going to be like a technocratic prison for a group, and then there's going to be liberation and consolation. There's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth of some, and then there's going to be consolation. Seth, consolation child. For men may swear by the greater, and an oath for confirmation is to them an end of all strife. But listen to this now. Wherein God, willing more abundantly to show onto the heirs of promise. That's all of you. God is going to show to the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath, that by two immutable things, and that means there's nothing can stand against it. It can't be canceled. No one can silence it. It is impossible for God to lie. So we must have, get this, strong consolation, who have fled for refuge, to lay hold upon the hope that is set before us. Superpowered with hope. God can't lie. God hasn't lied to me. Hasn't lied to you either. Maybe we take a little more time to live a better life. Maybe we start talking to God. Maybe we start praying to God. Help me. Help me. People are like, oh, I say the prayer. To recite the prayer. I recite the prayer. Don't recite a prayer. Talk. Get in tune. Otherwise, you're already in tuned from the other ones. You're already in tuned. You know, maybe it is. Maybe it's true. Maybe this is where all those thoughts come from. Maybe it's time that we resist the devil so that that devil flees from us. Maybe it's time for us to live a new life, to get better, to be stronger, to be bolder, to be braver, and to love more than ever before. Listen, it's Friday. I got to go. I love each and every one of you. Listen, if you want to support the channel, that would really mean a lot to me. Okay, we do these things. We're doing it on Patreon this Sunday, by the way, at noon or a little later, depending. I think Ethan has a basketball game. Going to post it there. Anybody $5 and up. You can, of course, be a member of Patreon for free, $1, whatever you want. The links are in the description of the video. That's one way to support the channel. There's a lot of ways. If you want to have, I do this on every show at the end. Get yourself truly free home products. Get healthier. I use like Sasquatch soap too. I wish they would sell soap. I've asked them to. Get healthier. Do things that are better. You go to trulyfreehome.com. Get this. You want to see something? You know what you should get? Get the meatball hat. I have this. Where do I have it? Oh God, I think I put it up there. I wanted to show you this because, I don't know, the meatball hat is just the bomb to me. I love it. I loved the fact that we were out shoveling and wearing the meatball hat. Remember the video I did before the aliens came? Said you get the meatball hat, the aliens will think, hey, he's just a meatball. We're not going to hurt him. He's special. And all of you are special too. All right. Make sure you smash the like on the way out if you like the show. Make sure you share the channel around. All you got to do is hit that little thing and you repost it to any of your socials. It helps. Tell people to check me out. And we'll get together again soon. I'm really glad. Thank you. If I missed any of your super chats, I apologize. But I think I got them all. And all those that do the super thanks and all that other stuff and the PayPal and everything else, all the links are in the description. Thank you. Thank you very much. I love you.